Hello you guys, this is the Ranting Shop. I am Melissa. Today we'll be discussing the final episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 2, Episode 19. And today, after watching this episode, it makes me even more infuriated for Mel, because it's like this is what she had to go through for all, maybe not for all the years of her marriage, but now, like going through this divorce, she's really seeing who this man really is. She's really seeing and coming to the realization that this man is a devil. He is the worst. And I'm so happy that she left him, because it would have continued to be a nightmare for her. Right? So let's go through exactly what happened with this episode. It's starting with Melody doing a photo shoot with her children to symbolize a new beginning. She's now divorcing Martell. They're divorced now. And the house doesn't need to be polluted with pictures of him and his ugly self. So she wants to start anew and to symbolize a new chapter in her life with just her and her children. Destiny comes along and they discuss the intervention with Chris and Nell. And that happened last episode. And she had to, throw a drink at his ears because of what he was saying. He keeps blaming her for the fact that he stepped out in their marriage. And then he has the audacity to say that the side woman is better than Melody. Like, how dare you? The disrespect this woman has to accept from this man is just, it's abusive. It is downright abusive behavior at this point. Martell has a session with his psychologist. His psychologist mentions the fact that he called Martell, but Martell has been avoiding, the meeting with the psychologist, because Martell's thinking is that the psychologist will hold him accountable, and he's not ready for that, or he doesn't want to be held accountable, and that's what it is. He pushes against people who try to hold him accountable. If he even thinks or senses that you're gonna hold him down for his bullshit, put his feet to the fire for his bullshit, he's gonna be defensive. Because he doesn't want to hear that. He wants you to praise him and tell him how good he is and tell him how good of a father he is and praise him. No, you don't deserve to be praised. You're trash. You do not deserve to be praised. And it's sickening that you don't want to be held accountable for your disgusting behavior. You want people to praise you for being a father? You want people to praise you for what? You've done nothing praiseworthy. Ever since Melody found out you cheated on her, you've been going back and forth with the side woman. You never left the side woman. What have you done for her to praise you? You want her to kiss your feet. You want her to tell you that you're amazing and you're handsome. Every single day you want her to perform sexual acts on you because you feel like you deserve it. But you never stop to think about her and how she feels. You never stop to think, maybe I'm not doing something I'm supposed to do in my marriage. All your focus has been towards bashing Melody and pointing out her shortcomings from your perspective. You're a very selfish man. And Melody said something that is extremely important in Funky Dineva's interview. And she said that Martell has issues, deep voids, that he needs to try to work on by himself. He has feelings of insecurity. He has feelings of being or feeling less than. He is an insecure man. He's an unstable man. And if we know anything about Martell's past, we know that his father literally abandoned him when he was a young boy. So that feeling, that childhood abandonment issues that he hasn't fully dealt with, and he's seeking from his wife, to the point where it was even probably not even practical what he wanted from his wife. The constant reassurance, the constant praise. Oh, you look handsome today, husband. Oh, you're just the best husband. She cannot pour into you what you don't even see in yourself. How unfair of you, Martell, to expect your wife to give you all that reassurance and all that worthiness that you feel you deserve when you don't even see it for your own self. This is something that you should have worked on by yourself. Don't put don't put that burden on other people to try and fill the void that you know they cannot fill. You know, I just feel like it's so unfair. So essentially what he's saying is he cheated on his wife because she wasn't praising him and giving him compliments, and she wasn't giving him the sex that he felt like he deserved. That's why he cheated on his wife. That is why. And he's saying now that he started to love the side woman, Arion. So my thing is, and he's saying now that he went and found Arion, that Melody was trying to overcompensate for her lack thereof. But if she never knew there was a problem, why are you stating it as if she knew she was slacking, but then the moment you found another woman to compete with her, she began to step up again? Why are you making it sound that way? When, based on Melody's account, she didn't even know anything was wrong in the marriage. She did not know she was not doing or fulfilling what he wanted her to do or fulfill. She didn't know that. And when she found out, if you remember last episode before the break, she mentioned that, yes, he said that she wasn't doing all these things, but she took it upon herself to make a list and do the things that she said she wasn't doing. She made an effort. But you're harping on the fact that, oh, you cheated because she didn't make an effort. But when she realized that she wasn't fulfilling whatever you wanted her to fulfill, she made an effort to do that. But it didn't matter at that point, because you had already fallen in love with the oranges, as you said. So my thing is, why continue to be married to Melody if you felt like she wasn't fulfilling you, or you felt you found something better? Why continue to put her through that hurt? It's because you're a selfish man. You're a dirty, selfish man with a fragile ego and you wanted people to stroke it, and she wasn't about to be like stroking your ego on a daily basis. What about herself? It's like you wanted her to praise you and be about you and be for you. But what about herself? She cannot be for herself. She cannot try to help herself and live for herself too. And the icing on top this filthy cake was Martell saying if he had to go back, he wouldn't do anything differently. This man said if he goes back, or if he had the opportunity to go back, he would do nothing differently. That says a whole lot. It says a whole lot. This man, if this marriage continued, he would have continued to see the side woman as well as his wife. That to him was the best fit he could come up with. It was the best for his ego. It was the best for his life. That's what he wanted. 2 women. And Melody just was not interested in being a sister wife. So the fact that he says that he wouldn't do anything differently is a nail in the coffin. It just validates and justifies the fact that Melody should have left. She should have been gone. From the time she heard that he was having an affair for the 2 years, she should have left then. You know, that's what she's coming to realize. You know, he said to us, what I felt to us, that Melody wanted him to choose. You cannot have a wife and have a side woman. That is unacceptable. They never discussed this. You know, that had never been an issue prior to the infidelity. So why must it be something she should accept now? So she decided she didn't want to accept it anymore, because she realized that the more she continued to stay in the marriage, the more he'd continue to see the side woman. There would have been no ultimatum there. It's either Melody stayed and accepted the fact that he would be with other women, or she left. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that situation. And he said it himself. She asked him to choose between these 2 women, and he couldn't do it. So all that tells me is that Melody was right for leaving. Martell does not like accountability at all. Not from his family, not from his friends, and not from anyone, not from the psychologist, not from anybody that has interviewed him. Because if you look at all the interviews he's done on YouTube, the interviewers almost seem as if they're trying to like step lightly around him to not offend him, because this man is so fragile and so emotional that if you say something contrary to what he thinks or believes, he's gonna shut you down. And these people want their interview, they want their views, so they're gonna coddle him and step lightly around him so as not to offend him. And that just showed me that this man does not like accountability. He doesn't want anyone to take his actions and put it in front of his face for him to see and deal with. He just doesn't want it. Because he knows deep down inside, he's a filthy man. He knows he's worthless and disgusting. He knows that. He doesn't want to face it. So when people try or attempt to make him see it and make him face it, he's defensive because he doesn't want to face it. He knows what he is. He doesn't want you to tell him that. You know, he wants this facade of being this great man. He doesn't want you to see his flaws and demons, but he put that out there for everybody to see and criticize. So I don't understand where he's coming from at this point. You put it out there. You all decided to go on a huge television network and air your business out. So how can you possibly expect for your business to still be private? We all see who you are, Martell, and you're unraveling every single time we see or hear about you. You cannot try to control anything at this point. And that's your problem. You're trying to control things. There's no control anymore. We see who you are. No control. You have no control of your image that you are putting out to people. You're trash. We see that you're trash. You can't hide that. We see it. Nothing you say will change our minds. I'm sorry. So they have this soft opening of black. Martell's business. My nose is very itchy. So he invited Melody, invited Martell. Martell calls the side woman on his way to the event, questions the paternity of his child, which was trash. And he only did that because he wants to not seem like the trash man that he is. So another way that he could tackle things and make himself not look too trash is to make people believe that Arion was potentially cheating as well, or Arion was potentially doing things behind his back as well. Anything this man could do to garner sympathy, he's going to do. Right? As we see. So he's saying, oh, he wants to do a paternity test. He's not sure if the child is his, and his excuse is that he was not always around Arion, so he doesn't know what she was doing. And in the same breath, and she should be ashamed of herself for accepting this. And he opens his mouth in the same breath and says that she has been loyal to him. So if she's been loyal to you, why are you questioning the paternity of her child? In my mind, he's just doing that to plant seeds of doubt in our minds, to kind of, I feel like all of that is an attempt to garner sympathy, to make himself not look so bad, but it's not working. It's not going to work. We see who you are already. So that was weak. That was a weak attempt. You know that's your child. You told Maurice at the campfire that based on the timeline that is your kid. Just accept that you did that and stop trying to make it something else. You know that's your child. Stop it. And Arion posted something about, we assume it's about Martell, basically alluding to the fact that this man is not loyal and that when he's around her is one thing, but when he's not around her is another thing. Case in point, when he's with her, she's good and all that stuff. But then on the show, remember he called her a peasant? Right? And now, when he's with her, he's probably rubbing her feet, talking about our children or our child. But then on the show, he's questioning the paternity. So you see the pattern there? The man is not loyal to you, Arion. He was not even loyal to his wife, who he has a bigger commitment to than you. What do you think you'd get from him? And for you, Arion, to be in a 5-year relationship with this man, you're despicable. You're just as sorry as he is. You're just as bad as he is. And whatever negative situation you end up in because you basically committed sin with this man is on you. You caused that. I'm tired of side women blaming the husband because sometimes the husbands outright tell them that they're married and they continue to have a relationship with these side women. And these women accept it, waiting for the husband to leave the wife. Martell would have never left Melody if Melody didn't put her feet down and decided that she wasn't going to accept this anymore. He would have never left Melody. He wanted both, period. And you being mad at Melody for staying in her marriage, how dare you? How dare you? You're just as filthy as him, criticizing Melody, bad talking her. You're disgusting. I have no sympathy for side women. They know what they get themselves into. They know what they do. They're not innocent. The man is filthy. We've been dragging Martell for like literally every episode. But you see this side woman, no sympathy from me. She's just as filthy and disgusting as he is. I hate to see when side women break up. Well, I'm not gonna say that she broke up their marriage, but I hate to see when these side women feel as if they have a one up on the wife and they're better than the wife. And if so, then why aren't you the wife? Why isn't he leaving his wife to come and marry you? Make it make sense. Anyways, Martell goes to the soft launch. He apologizes to Letitia, and because you know he fought with the girl's mom, so now he's apologizing for it. And they discuss. Chris and Nell show up, and they basically say that Martell is the reason why everything went south, and Martell is stuck on that because he doesn't want to seem like the bad guy. So he's like, you see, she's blaming me. Yes, you. It's you. You're the reason why Melody threw that thing at you because of the disgusting things you were saying. What's so wrong about that? It's you. You are the reason. It's true. It's you. Oh, you see, she's saying it's me because it's you. It's your fault. Right? And one thing I realized here was Letitia. She was being so very petty and passive aggressive here because she's like, oh, tell the truth. Say your whole truth. Say all the truth. You were just in a debacle with Melody, and your husband just told you that two people could see truths in different ways, and you shouldn't shut people down, and you shouldn't do all these things. It's so hypocritical of you, Letitia, because you didn't want to hear what Melody had to say, but then you're telling Martell that he should tell his truth. Pick one, because it's like you don't know what you're about. 1 minute you're upset that Melody's telling her truth. Next minute you're telling Martell to tell his truth. You're a very fishy person, Letitia. Very fishy and passive aggressive. You're still pressed. You're still pressed about Melody. So the way you try and get back at her is you say these little subtle things as if we don't see what you're doing. You weren't there. You don't know what happened. You don't know if Martell was lying or telling the truth. But you're poking your nose into the people's business like you were there. Master is trying to shut you up, but you just keep going. Shut up. You don't want people to speak on your situation. Don't speak on theirs. Period. That's why I have to call you childish, because that's who you are. You're a childish person that likes to throw passive-aggressive jabs at people and act like you're innocent. We see what you're doing. No wonder you and Melody cannot get along. You are two different types of people. Melody will just tell you the truth or whatever it is she has to say to you, but you will hide it behind a nice comment. But we see what you're doing. Talking about tell your whole truth. Shut up. Anyways, she then apologizes to Melody, tells Melody that, you know, she was wrong and all these things. And Melody's like, we've been apologized. She's done that already. She keeps apologizing for things she does, but then things always end up like shit moving forward because she brings it up. She always says, leave the past in the past, and she keeps bringing up the past. This woman is a complete oxymoron. She's just a walking contradiction. But anyways, we shall see what happens with their friendship. I would not be friends with Letitia if I was Mel. You see how passive-aggressive she is? They have one disagreement. She goes to the enemy and tries to defend the enemy. You see how she is? One disagreement with your friend, then you're trying to become friends with her enemy. Why are you doing that? That's childish. And it speaks a lot about you and the fact that you internalize things that bother you, and the way you project it is to try and get them in some type of conniving way. So Martell and Melody talk. So first it was between him and Marcus. Marcus came to apologize and clarify what he meant when he said that the children were calling his boyfriend or husband dad and stuff. And Martell explained where he was coming from, and then it turned into a terrible topic about who is and who is not wanting to accept homosexuality. For the longest while, even you said it, Martell, you have had no problems with Marcus and his partner. All of a sudden, you don't want your children to see two men being in a marriage together? What? All of a sudden, it's a problem that Marcus has a male partner. That's disgusting, Martha. That's your attempt at trying to control the narrative. That's your attempt at trying to control the situation. The children are the only ones that you could control in this situation. And if you can try and manipulate things to make it seem like, oh, concern, you would do that. When Melody has the children, you have no say as to who she puts around the children. Marcus is her brother at the end of the day. So Why is it now a problem that the children are around him and his partner? It's your fault that the children are with him and his partner. So what are you saying? And that was just a very filthy conversation there. I want their foundation to be husband and wife. Their foundation has been husband and wife. But because of your disgusting behavior, it's become what it is, and you just have to accept that. At the end of the day, Marcus is Melody's brother. She's going to have the kids around him, whether you like it or not. The same way you're going to have their children around Arion. I'm 100% sure of that. She could have her children around her brother. You have no say in that. The same way she has no say in whether you bring Arion around the children or not. Or maybe she does have a say, but it wouldn't matter. He doesn't have a say in where Melody brings the kids. Unless if Marcus is not hurting the children or doing the things that are bad to the children, I do see what the problem is. If you don't want your children around that, you should have thought about that before you cheated on Melody and broke up your marriage. Now, Melody then speaks to Martell, and of course it gets to a point where it's heated because Martell keeps projecting or wanting Melody to share the blame for the demise of their marriage. But Melody doesn't have to share that blame because she is not to blame for the dissolution or the damage that has been caused. She did what she had to do for herself and for her children, for her mental health, because of you. And you keep blaming her and blaming her and blaming her. And you keep saying you're a contradiction. You keep saying you don't want the talk to go to a negative point. You don't want there to be animosity and all these negative emotions. But then you keep being disrespectful, Martell. Why are you saying that? Why are you calling her a whore? That is your wife. You're filthy. You're disgusting. And you're unstable, which makes you dangerous because nobody knows what you're gonna do next. It's like you're trying to grasp onto anything you can. You're desperate. And you look pathetic. Calling Melody, calling Funky Dineva multiple times on his live. Why are you doing that? This man is trying to gain control. There's no control here anymore. You have control over yourself. That's it. You have the audacity to say that the side woman is loyal to you. So your wife wasn't loyal to you? What about you? Were you loyal to the side woman? Were you loyal to your wife? So you want loyalty, but you're not willing to be loyal? How fair is that? Fix your demons. Fix your issues. You have issues. Something is wrong with you. You're not normal and you're not thinking correctly. You want these women to kiss your feet and praise you and you don't deserve it. This Arion is loyal to a married man. Wow. She's such a fool. She's a damn fool. You're an idiot. Both of you are clowns. You're like clowns together. And you will have a clown relationship and live a clown life. You're like both filthy people. When you lay down with dogs, what do you get? Fleas. I can't. She irritates me. He boils my blood. I can't stand him. He doesn't want things to be negative. He doesn't want things to go this and that way. The man is just a contradiction. Everything he says he doesn't want, he perpetuates it. If Melody is a whore, what can we call you? You're more than a whore. You're worse than a whore. You're broken. You're filthy. You're disgusting. You don't want to see Melody moved on unhappy. You want her to just be with you and be miserable. No. Leave her alone. You said the oranges with Arion. You said her oranges are sweeter. Be with her then. You have her now. Be with her. Be happy. You have a kid together. Have a happy home. And something the therapist said was, he mentioned separating someone's actions from themselves. I must admit that your actions is a manifestation of who you are as an individual. What you show the world through your actions is an indication of who you are as an individual. So for the lawyer to separate, for the psychologist to separate it, I don't see a separation. The only way I see a separation is if the person's actions is as a result of something forced or something that is out of their control. But for Martell, his actions are a direct indication of who he is as a person, a filthy person. A disgusting human being. I just can't stand him. His head, and that stupid side woman Arion, trash, just like him. anyways, you guys, that was it. I mean, if you hop on him for too long, your blood pressure is gonna be all the way up here, and I cannot. So anyways, that was it for this episode. Next episode, it looks like they're going behind the scenes. I really just want to see a reunion. But that was it. Let me know if I didn't say anything that I needed to say. Let me know if you want to add anything else. And thank you guys for sticking with me for all these episodes and this bonnet and this face and everything. At the end of the day, I am who I am, and this is me. I'm Alicia. Okay, and thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Let me know what you think, and see you next time for a review of some other show. We shall see. Bye.